Have you ever looked at your life and wondered why, no matter how hard you try, the same patterns repeat themselves? What is certain emotions, failures, or challenges return again and again, almost like you're trapped in a loop you can break free from? Welcome back to our channel, a sanctuary for seekers ready to rise above limitation and touch the deeper truths of life. I'm your host, and today we are diving into a topic that holds the key to transformation not just on a spiritual level, but on a very real and practical one: Vipassana, also known as insight meditation. What does this ancient practice have the power to shift your destiny? And how exactly did the Buddha teach it to be the gateway to freedom? The answer is as surprising as it is profound. You see, most people think destiny is something external, written in the stars, dictated by karma, or passed down through bloodlines. But the Buddha taught something revolutionary. Your destiny is not what happens to you. It is what you perceive and how you respond. And the only way to change your perception and your responses at the deepest level is through direct observation of reality, moment to moment, breath by breath. That's where Vipassana comes in. It's not a technique for relaxation. It's not just a form of mindfulness. It is a surgical tool for the soul. It peels back the layers of illusion and brings you face to face with truth, not as an idea, but as a lived experience. Let's begin at the root. The Buddha never promised that life would be easy. He never sugarcoated the reality of suffering, but he did offer a path, one that leads beyond suffering, and Vipassana is at the heart of that path. Vipassana means to see things as they really are. Not as we want them to be, not as we fear they are, but as they are. Sounds simple, right? But here's the catch: we are not trained to see reality. We are trained to interpret it through the filters of our trauma, our conditioning, our desires, our opinions. Every moment, we react not to what is actually happening, but to what we think is happening. And this is where destiny is forged, in the fire of unconscious reaction. Let me illustrate. Imagine someone says something hurtful to you. Instantly, your body contracts, your breath tightens, your mind races with judgment or pain. That one moment can define your entire day, perhaps even your relationship. But what if, instead of reacting, you observed? You felt the contraction in your chest. You noticed the heat in your face. You watched the thoughts arise and let them pass. You didn't suppress. You didn't explode. You simply saw. That is Vipassana. And in that space, destiny changes. Because instead of reacting from your past, you act from awareness. Instead of repeating a pattern, you choose presence. The Buddha discovered this truth not by reading books or attending lectures. He sat beneath a tree and observed his breath, his body, with sensations until the illusions fell away. And he didn't just do it once. He made it a discipline. Because liberation is not a one-time experience. It is a daily practice. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man who came to a Vipassana retreat after his marriage ended. He was angry, bitter, and full of blame. He expected to find peace, but what he found was silence and pain. As he sat in meditation, memories arose, shame, grief, guilt, physical aches, emotional storms. He almost laughed. But a teacher gently told him, "Stop, run, surf. Everything that rises will pass." He stayed. And something incredible happened. By the fifth day, he noticed that the pain in his chest would rise like a wave and then dissolve. The guilt would surface and then fade. He began to realize, I am not my emotions, and the awareness behind them. That shift didn't just heal his heart. It changed the way he lived. He returned to his job, to his family, but now he no longer reacted blindly. He listened, he paused, he saw. That's destiny rewriting itself. One breath at a time. Let's go deeper. Vipassana is not about avoiding life. It's about entering it fully, with eyes wide open. Every emotion, every sensation, every thought becomes a doorway to understanding, and through understanding comes release. Think of your mind like a garden. For years, it has grown weeds to old beliefs, negative patterns, Hidden fears. Vipassana is the process of sitting in the garden, not to rip out the weeds in anger, but to see them clearly and gently allow them to lose their power. Over time, your inner soul changes. New seeds can grow, seeds of compassion, patience, and clarity. But only if you're willing to sit in silence and stillness. With honesty. Many people ask, can this really change my life? The answer is not in theory, it is an experience. You must practice, at once, at twice, at consistently. And minutes a day, an hour a day, silent retreat, whatever you can offer. But offer it sincerely. Because Vipassana is a mirror, and it will show you everything, your joy, your pain, your ego, your divinity. And when you can face all of it without flinch, you will find a freedom the world cannot touch. There's another story of an elderly woman who took her first retreat at the age of 70. Her body ached, her knees hurt, her back screamed, but she said, she watched, and in her journal, she wrote, I thought I came here to escape pain, but I found that in watching my pain, I found peace. That's the paradox. You don't find freedom by running. You find it by staying. By breathing. By observing. By remembering that everything, yes, everything is impermanent. The Buddha called this amicos, the law of change. When you truly understand impermanence, you no longer cling, you no longer fear, you float like a leaf on the river of life, not because you're passive, but because you're awake. And this awakening is not for minds alone. It is for you. Your living room, and your grief, your stress, and your joy. Wherever you are, you can be king. Just close your eyes. Feel your breath. What is your body? Watch your thoughts. And don't judge. Just observe. Let the river flow. And let your destiny unfold, not from the force of habit, but from the power of presence. Thank you for watching this video. If you've experienced the power of Vipassana or are curious to begin, share your thoughts in the comments. Let's build a community of awakening together. Like, subscribe, and stay with us as we continue exploring the sacred path of truth and transformation. You are not broken, you are becoming, and the journey begins with one breath.